encountered a force of evil, hell-bent on taking lives.
I want to take a moment to recognize the 3 officers we lost. Sergeant Cody Becker.
He was just always a helper.
Detective Mark Baker.
He's a hero to our family and now to everyone in York County.
And Detective Isaiah Emmenheiser.
Next to God and his wife and kids, the community and his career, that was his life.
Job well done. Mission well served.
Welcome to News 8's special coverage honoring the fallen as we remember the 3 York County police officers killed in the line of duty. I'm Caitlin Smith.
I'm Matt Barcaro. Hundreds of people are expected to pay their respects today to the 3 officers from the Northern York County Regional Police Department, Detective Mark Baker, Detective Sergeant Cody Becker, and Detective Isaiah Emmenheiser. They were killed last week while serving a search warrant in North Codorus Township.
The procession along Cape Horn Road from the funeral home to the memorial service at the Living Word Community Church in York Township is about to start. And we do have a team of News 8 reporters along that procession route to be with you each step of the way. We do begin with Susan Shapiro. She is live at that church. Susan.
This gray, dreary day is much like the mood here, very serious and somber. Hundreds of police officers from all over Pennsylvania and beyond are already here and already in the Living Word Community Church, known as Living Word. I took a walk around this parking lot. I saw cars from Lancaster County, York County, Dauphin County, Lycoming County, Maryland, and Delaware. They are all here to pay honor and tribute to those 3 officers from Northern York County Regional Police killed in that ambush last week. Northern York County Regional Police Chief Dave Lash is one of the speakers. We have now received the service that will take place here. Also, Corporal Andy Miller and Corporal Steve Lebo will pay tribute to those officers. We'll also hear a musical tribute and words of remembrance from Chief Mark Bensel. He was the longtime chief at Northern York County Regional Police and is now serving in New Holland, Lancaster County. I spoke with him earlier this week. He didn't want to say very much at that point. He is obviously very upset and said, of course, he knew all of these officers and probably hired many of those officers. He was there for many years. As I said, this parking lot is filled. This church is the same church where they held a service for Officer Andrew Duarte, who was killed at the UPMC shooting in February. So it is certainly a familiar sight here and not one that many of these people want to see. As I said, hundreds. There's just a sea of blue everywhere you look. I took a look around the back of the building and you see officers lined up, as I said, very serious and very somber at this hour. This church holds 1,500 people in the main auditorium and then another 1,500 in the secondary room. And of course, the whole church can hold 5,000 people. So it is definitely going to be a large capacity crowd here for this funeral service for all 3 of these officers. Back to you.
Monday, I'm sure, so all of those members are able to attend today.
And we are expecting many dignitaries from the local level, the state level, including Governor Shapiro, who is expected to go to the service when that starts in a few hours. We will now continue our live coverage from near the funeral home where this procession is about to start. Let's go to News 8's Bailey Martin. She is at Route 24 at Broadway. Bailey?
Yeah, thanks, Matt. We're here at the square in Red Line near Wagner, Elfner, and Berg Funeral Home where that funeral is taking place. And people have been lining the streets since we got here early this morning with flags showing their support. Many saying that they didn't know these officers personally or individually, but that this is something that is so amazing to see a community come together just to support one another for officers who gave their lives in the line of duty. That procession is taking off from here. We have motorcycles, we have police cars that are lining this street, getting ready to take off. We have fire engines that have flags that are hanging. This is something that people are waiting to see. And a word that I heard was that this is something that's neat, and not in a way that is positive, but in a way that is a community coming together. This is a unique situation where people can come together on a common ground for a common cause, and it really is just to support those officers. We have scouts here. We know that Detective Mark Baker was very involved. He was a Cub Master for a while. He was very involved with the troops. We have some of them here showing their support today. We have children, lots of flags, people who are just here waiting to see that procession take off. Again, we are near the funeral home where that is happening. They're stepping off from here, heading to Living Word Community Church. We will have all of that coverage for you through the entire procession route. I also spoke to another woman who says that she wanted to be here for these officers because she's lived here her entire life, and that this is something that she just wanted to be part of. So I think this is going to be a really interesting day to see. Again, we'll have all of that procession coverage for you as we continue, but for now we'll send it back to you, Matt and Caitlin.
All right, and as Bailey mentioned, we do know that Detective Baker's connection to the Scouts does run deep, as he served with the Scouts for many years. And we do know that tonight the Dover Scout group will be retiring a flag in his honor. They'll be doing that at the former Dover police station. We also understand that Scouts were involved in the coordination of all of the events for today, the procession and the funeral service.
And there was a procession that same night last Wednesday following those deaths, and it was raining at that point as well. And they even made comments on that during the news conference with the state police and with the DA, that it seemed appropriate that it was such a somber weather conditions, considering the somber mood that we are all sharing again today in the rain once again. Let's take you just a little bit further down to where the procession will continue to go through when it does begin. We haven't seen it by Bailey just yet, but we're going to go to Sarah Metz now. She's at Route 24 and Edgewood Avenue. Sarah.
Yeah, Caitlin and Matt, right now, just like you said, we are on North Main Street and Edgewood Drive. As you can see, we just had a bunch of Philadelphia police officers go by, and they actually are heading now towards that church. This is the exact line that the procession will also follow eventually. Again, that is set to get started not long from now, and it's starting where Bailey just had us, but it will eventually get to this point where we are. And as you can see, we do have some people gathering outside, and I asked them, you know, why was it so important for you to be out here and standing along the street? Most of them are holding American flags, and they told me because it really represents the solidarity that this community has. And a lot of these detectives, actually all three of these detectives, have deep ties to York County in general, and Cody Becker especially, Detective Sergeant Cody Becker. He was a Spring Grove High School student. He also went to Millersville. His ties are very deep in this community, and like you can see out here on the corner of North Main Street and West Edgewood Avenue, we have people standing in solidarity with those American flags to support those three fallen officers who we will soon see come down this road in the procession. Caitlin, Matt, back to you.
Sarah, thank you. Now, we mentioned the event with the Scouts for Detective Baker tonight. There are also events coming up for Detective Becker on October 11th at Spring Grove High School. They're going to be having the kickoff clinic. He was a wrestler, so they will be dedicating that night. And also December 4th, that's when their first match is with wrestling, and that will be first responder night. So a lot of separate events to honor all of these detectives. And you said there was a connection with Detective Baker.
And the Philadelphia Police Department, where he went to the academy. Also tonight for Detective Sergeant Baker, they are having an event at the Spring Grove High School. The homecoming bonfire is tonight, and the wrestling team, of which he was a part, will be selling black bracelets with blue strips, and the money will be going toward the Northern York County Regional Police Department.
Cody Becker.
For Cody Becker.
Let's go out to Jacob Hunsaker now. He is joining us a little bit farther along the route. Again, the procession hasn't gotten started just yet, although we did see a few officers from the Philadelphia Police, as Sarah just mentioned, heading down to the church. But the official procession, as far as we know, has not begun yet. We will show it to you as soon as it does. Let's check in with Jacob Hunsaker, though, right now. He is at Route 24 and Lombard Avenue. Jacob.
Yeah, Matt, Caitlin, good morning to both of you. Like you mentioned, we're at Cape Horn and Lombard, that intersection, which is right in the middle of where that procession will be taking place here once it gets started, probably within the next couple minutes or so. And The biggest thing that I have taken away so far from today is I'm just in awe at the amount of support that these officers have seen with the number of people that have come out so far this morning. About 9:30 or so, there weren't a ton of people that were out here. I think a lot of them were a little bit nervous about the rain, of course, that was going on here, but it has let up just in time. And if we pan the camera a little bit to my right, there are dozens upon dozens of people behind me as well as in front of me that have all come out in the last 15 minutes or so. And they're all here because they say this is so important for the community to come together and show support for the brothers that they have lost. There were a number of people that told me this is the kind of thing you expect to see in a big city, police officers that are shot and killed. This isn't the kind of thing that you expect to see here at home, here in York. And they are just so taken back by that they want to show their love and support to people who were so important to the community, even if they didn't know them personally. And Susan mentioned it, it's kind of gray conditions that really fit the emotions, the somberness that a lot of people are feeling right now. But I do have to mention, one woman told me that if it rains on the day of someone's funeral, it means that they immediately get to heaven. And she said that she was just so taken back by that, in hope that these men who gave the ultimate sacrifice in service to this community, because it's raining today, might be a little bit somber with what we're seeing, it means that they got to the gates of heaven right away. And of course, we've touched on their great service, their sacrifice for all of us, keeping our community safe, and how much that means to all of these people here. And it's just so great to see a number of people, ranging from children to the elderly. So many people here in this community that are just showing their love and support for those men who gave so much for this community. And of course, we're going to be here to cover it all as it happens. Like I said, we're at the midway point of this procession, so we will be here to show you it all as it starts. And as soon as it kicks off here in the next couple of minutes, we'll have another check back with you guys here within the next couple of minutes or so. Matt, Caitlin will send it back to the desk.
Right, Jacob. And we were seeing some pictures of some of the outpouring of community support that we have seen over the last week, be it flowers or notes or just people getting together to grieve together. But definitely it has affected the community as a whole, this being the second line of duty death just in York County this year.
Yeah, we had West York Borough Officer Andrew Duarte, who was killed in February during the UPMC Memorial shooting. And I know he is also on the minds of many as we see a similar procession, the funeral at this same church that his was. It's just a really tough day for that entire community and the entire Susquehanna Valley.
A lot to process, and that's what everyone is doing together.
And here to help us is our team coverage continuing now with a retired law enforcement officer to share his insights in today's procession and memorial.
Let's go to News 8 with Brian Roach with that.
Matt and Caitlin, I'm here with Paul Gaspich. Paul is a retired state police captain. He served 30 years in the military, local law enforcement, and retired as a captain with the Pennsylvania State Police just a couple of years ago. But more importantly, toward the end there, Paul, you were on what's known as the Peer Response Team. Tell us about that. What did you do on that team?
So the Pennsylvania State Police has a program, it's called Members Assistance Program. And within that program, there are volunteer state troopers and civilians that respond to critical incidents. And it could be any incident involving a child. Obviously, the worst incident that you could have is involving a line of duty death or death of a child or a person in the community. And the job of the peer contacts are to go to the incident and talk to the officers. It's called a diffusing. They actually talk to those officers before they leave at the end of the shift to make sure that they are okay to go home to their families or if they go home by themselves.
Unfortunately, you've dealt with hundreds of these cases, haven't you?
Unfortunately, yes. And it's very important to deal with that trauma before the officer leaves or trooper leaves for the end of their shift, to at least tell them what they can expect in the next 8, 16, 24 hours.
So you and I spoke last week, and one of the things we talked about is what an incident like this does to the law enforcement community as a whole. So let me ask you, why, obviously beyond moving the fallen officers to their final resting place, what does a procession like this, what does it do for the law enforcement community? Is it their way of saying goodbye?
Absolutely. And first, I want to say how proud I am of the York County community and the Commonwealth itself for coming out, the support from Governor Shapiro showing up immediately to the incident, and you guys covering this procession. It means so much to law enforcement and just as importantly to their families. In this career, you can become isolated. You can feel like it's sometimes there's justice, sometimes there's just us. And you can feel like you're isolated sometimes with all the trauma you see and not supported. We saw that in 2020, a lot of rhetoric that police aren't supported. And this really helps those officers and the troopers that are out there protecting the community, go take another shift, really. It's so important to show support for those officers and their families.
Paul will be joining us throughout the morning here as the procession moves to the church and offering his insights on what it means for the law enforcement community. For now, we're going to go back to Caitlin and Matt.
Thank you, Brian. Let's go right out to Bailey Martin, who is at the beginning of this procession, which we do believe is beginning to get underway.
Yeah, guys, they're stepping off right now as we speak. That procession is beginning here at the funeral home at Wagner Elfner in Berg, where they are headed to Living Word Community Church. We have tons of officers here. Of course, we have state police. We have Northern York County Regional Police. They are all getting ready to lead that procession to Living Word Community Church. They're stepping off here now. And as you can see, that procession is passing by. They are on their way to Living Word Community Church. It's a heavy moment. That's the only way I can describe how, at least I'm feeling right now. We have troopers saluting those officers on their final way to the church, where everyone will be gathering to honor those officers. We're going to send it back to Matt and Caitlin. They have more on the procession following.
Some of the sounds I just want to point out there is just the present arms. Some of these men were military men, and we also heard children, and they were all fathers. Let's go out to Sarah Metz now, where the procession is continuing to be by her. She is at Route 24 and Edgewood Avenue. Sarah.
Yeah, Caitlin and Matt, just like you said, I am on North Main Street right now and West Edgewood Avenue. As you can see, we have those officers moving by. The motorcade is starting to go by us at this very moment. We are still waiting for the hearse to make their way down this road, do want to also talk about some of the officers that I'm seeing. Lower Makefield, Bensalem, Newtown, Upper Darby. We have officers from Philadelphia also down here supporting our fallen officers. Camden County, we have these ones coming from Lancaster, Nassau County, all of these from all over the state to support our York County community. We also just saw some Maryland troopers go by as well. Again, this is coming right before those bodies are going to pass us. All right, Caitlin and Matt, as you can see, we just had all three detectives go by us on North Main Street. I'm going to send it back to you guys at the desk.
Sarah, powerful images there. We hear so often about how law enforcement looks after each other. We've heard that over the last week in many of the news conferences from police. Even the first night, hours after the shooting, the state police commissioner said, "The grief will be unbearable, but we will bear it." And this is one way that law enforcement bears it, by being together and coming from near and far to support one another in the worst of days.
Sarah mentioned some Maryland state troopers there. The day after this all happened, so it was just a week ago today, that was the day after, at the Northern York County Regional Police Department, as that memorial was beginning to get bigger and bigger and now is very significant. A Maryland state trooper who had done some training with Detective Sergeant Cody Becker was there that time. Let's go out to Jacob Hunsaker because the procession is about to come by him. He is joining us from 24th and Lombard Avenue. Jacob.
Yeah, Matt, Caitlin, good morning to both of you. We're right at that middle point of the procession, which, as you can see behind me, we're really getting to that spot where they are getting to us. And I'm just blown away at the number of officers that, like Sarah had just mentioned, we've seen from all over the entire northeastern part of the country. I was expecting to see people from just around our community, but I did speak to one officer from Camden County in New Jersey, and I asked, "What made you come so far?" And all he said to me was, "We might not have known them, we might not have been close with them, but they are still our brothers in blue." And that's enough reason for us to be here and show our support. And just seeing the number of people here in this community that are a part of that didn't know these officers, these detectives. You can see a number of these little kids that are right here that are just showing their support, right next to officers, of course, that are saluting as well. And those hearses are getting closer, so of course we're going to go quiet here because of course we want to pay our respects as those detectives pass by. The emotions here are somber. That's to be expected given the circumstances, but I just can't describe even how I'm feeling seeing these little kids, for example, just saluting officers that, again, they didn't know, but helped keep our community safe. And seeing all these people here, it just, I don't know how else to describe it other than something that just takes your breath away. Matt, Caitlin will send it back to you at the desk with more on the procession as it continues.
And you see, Jacob, just how much of a community loss this is, how the community grief, kind of comes together in moments like this. But we also can't forget the personal loss for the families of these men, all three of them fathers. Mark Baker, a father of 5, Cody Becker and Isaiah Emmenheiser, fathers of 2, leaving behind children and families.
And not just their own children, but the impact that they've had on so many other children, from scouts to young athletes, and how they have inspired them and will continue to do so even following this. Jacob, thank you for that. And we want to go out to Susan Shapiro, who is standing by at the Living Word Community Church, again, where the funeral will be held. Susan?
We often hear that law enforcement is a brotherhood, and today we are seeing those brothers and sisters come together to support each other and hold one another up. I just spoke with a state trooper who used to work in Lancaster County, and he told me it's sad when we have to come together like this, and it's sad that this keeps happening in our country. Most of those officers who were gathered outside the church have now gone inside. They are going to have to wait for this service to begin at 12 o'clock, straight up at noon. We have gotten the order of the service. Pastor Aaron Anderson, who's the pastor of the Living Word Community Church, or Living Word as they call it, will give the opening remarks. We'll also hear from Chief Dave Lash, who is the chief at Northern York County Regional Police, where these officers served. And they served, they were all at different points in their careers, but they together served, I think, more than 50 years. So Chief Lash knows them well. And so does Chief Mark Bensel, who was the longtime chief at Northern York County Regional Police. He will also give remarks. We'll also hear from the daughter of Mark Baker, one of the officers who was killed in that ambush. There are expected to be hundreds of people inside that church. It holds about 1,500 in the auditorium and another 1,500 in a secondary room. So this will definitely be a long service and a somber service, that's for sure. And I know it will end with that last call for these 3 officers. Back to you.
We're told at a news conference with state police and with the chiefs that even Susan was mentioning there as we look overhead at this procession, that they had saved 2 lives that day that this happened, and that they also had saved lives in the past. Even here on WGAL in 2010, we had covered a story of one of them saving a family from a fire. Another one in his obituary talks about the lives that he has saved over their long careers, as Susan was just mentioning, combined many years of serving our community, and just what they have done will leave a lasting impact on all of us. And I think you see that with the community coming out to say thank you and to pay their respects today.
And you have to imagine that this helps the families kind of process this, to see this outpouring of support. Let's go back to Susan, because the procession is now arriving at the church where the funeral service will be.
We are seeing the start of that procession. As you can see, motorcycles are leading that procession with their lights flashing, headed into the parking lot of the Living Word Community Church here in Red Lion. There are a lot of motorcycles, as you can see, dozens of them. And that will be followed by the 3 hearses of the officers who were killed in that ambush last week. Not far from here. This all happened in a, pretty small vicinity here in York County. As you can see, those motorcycles are still coming. As I said, the officers who were gathered outside have now gone inside the church to await the start of this service at noon, where we will hear those 3 officers being honored, and we will hear a lot of tributes to them. And as you can see, they're driving under that large American flag that's being held up there by 2 fire trucks, one from Manchester Township. We have seen officers from all over the Susquehanna Valley and the state. I took a look around the parking lot. We have York County, Lancaster County, Dauphin County, Lycoming County. So it is certainly quite a tribute to these officers from all over. You have now seen all 3 hearses carrying the bodies of the 3 fallen officers from Northern York County Regional Police come into the parking lot here at the Living Word Community Church, getting ready for this service that will begin at noon. We will hear remarks from the pastor of the service, Aaron Anderson, and remarks from Chief Dave Lash of the Northern York County Regional Police Department, along with Chief Mark Bensel, who was the longtime chief at Northern Regional and is now serving in Lancaster County in New Holland. And I spoke with him. He was obviously very saddened because he really didn't have a whole lot to say last week when I talked with him. We have seen officers from all over, and they all just said it is a sad day and sad that this kind of thing keeps happening. Back to you.
Susan, in seeing all this, I come back to what the York County DA said last week when all of this was still developing. He was talking about how it's been a really difficult year for law enforcement in York County, and he said it can seem very, very dark and dire, and you begin to lose faith and hope. But then he told the story of seeing all the people from the community line the streets from the scene of the shooting to the coroner's office, and he said, I think there's the light in seeing the community support. And we saw it again throughout that procession today.
And York County also held kind of a community debrief, they called it, to try to lower the stress level and help the entire community heal. And now Brian Roach is joining us with a retired state trooper who can kind of speak to that and also how law enforcement gets through circumstances like this. Brian.
That's right, Caitlin. I'm joined by Paul Gaspich. And Paul, I want to go right to you and ask you, our reporters along the route there were describing it, the atmosphere is somber, heavy, very emotional. I want to ask you, retired law enforcement officer, what were you thinking as you watched that? You spoke to me last week about survivor's guilt.
Yeah, the first image that really is important for me is I saw a little girl with a little boy standing next to her, and they're waving the American flag as the procession is going by. And you know, in valor there is hope. These officers made the ultimate sacrifice for all of us to be safer. They saved 2 people that day. In their careers, how many people did they save or touch? And it's really important for the community to come out and support the families, because that's what they're going to remember. They're going to remember all those officers in the procession. They'll take note of those 2 little kids and all those family members or people supporting them with the flags and just along the route. And that'll give them the hope, the light to go back to work tomorrow and continue to handle calls from routine. There's no such thing as a routine call in law enforcement, but for the calls that you get, calls for service, to the stressful calls like this obviously was.
You have to wonder if there's still a bit of a sense of shock for the community as a whole and for law enforcement. You were telling me earlier, it was years ago, the last time a police department lost 3 officers simultaneously. When was that?
That was 2009 in Pittsburgh. 2 officers responded to a domestic disturbance. A mother had called Pittsburgh police. Her son was having a domestic dispute. 2 officers arrived, and they were instantaneously met by gunfire on the porch. A 3rd Pittsburgh officer off duty on their way home heard the incident, responded, and he was gunned down as well. So it was in 2009 that occurred in Pittsburgh.
We're looking at a live picture of the church here, and as you said earlier, you have dealt with a few of these situations. I'm sure you've attended several funeral services like this. Give us a sense of what that funeral service is going to be like starting at noon.
Those services, we come out as brothers and sisters, because it is a brotherhood, a sisterhood, to support the fallen, but just as importantly, to show support for those families. We don't want those families to think they're forgotten about. And it's really important to show that support, and it's amazing the community is coming out as well to show that support of these fallen.
I met you 25 years ago when my brother was involved in an incident. He was critically injured in an accident, and you were a tremendous help to my family at the time. Do you miss, that's a bad question, I shouldn't ask you that, but do you still stay in close contact with law enforcement officers in a situation like this? Yeah, and when you retire from this career field after 20 or 25 years, it is like a divorce, or you feel like a part of you is missing. That's why it's important for even the retirees to become involved. I'm sure there's so many people involved in this. I know a lot of people that are involved as peer contacts, that they're all volunteers, and a lot of people do that even in their retired years. And law enforcement, I have to gather, well, you told me this last week, they will continue to support these families well into the future.
Yeah, that's really the critical thing. We do an event called Cops for Cops, cops meeting police for KOPS, keep our pipers silent. You probably hear bagpipes at a lot of funerals and things like that. So in either January or February, there will be a ice hockey game where police will be playing each other at the Giant Center. And it's really a good opportunity for people in the community to come out and support the family. The families will be invited there. It might be too raw for them. It might be too fresh for them. But there will be continuous fundraisers for the families. And as you all said earlier, like, these are sons, these are husbands, these are fathers, these are pillars of the community. And you're seeing their impact on the community based on the community coming out and supporting them today.
You told me last week you were so moved by the community response can you explain how much that means to law enforcement?
Yeah, my brother died in the line of duty in 2018 as a corrections officer, and I remember the procession. I remember Chief Garth Warner from Derry Township Police Department riding the motorcycle that day. I remember Chief Kashiba from Lower Paxton actually on the procession route. Captain Gabe Oliver from Harrisburg City PD manning a corner and blocking the streets. And all of the people that didn't know my brother coming out to support still gives me hope today that we're okay. There's good people out there in society that are willing to step up all the time, not just our men and women in uniform, but everyday citizens that are coming out today to honor this. I'm just really proud of that, and that's going to have a long-lasting impact on those families.
Paul Gaspich, thanks for sharing the law enforcement insight with us on this very somber day. Caitlin and Matt, back to you.
And we should also mention that in this same shooting that took the lives of those 3 officers, there was also another Northern York County Regional Police officer who was hurt and is in the hospital, and also York County Sheriff's Deputy Lieutenant David Godfrey, who were both listed at last check in satisfactory condition. So if you, like they, perhaps not able to attend, obviously, this procession and the funeral, thank you for joining us here and watching it. And I hope the takeaway was that our community cares and we come out in full force to pay respects.
You know it. And the procession now winding down. The funeral service is set to start at noon. Public attendance is not allowed for the actual funeral, but the church is providing a live stream to us, and we will be showing the live stream of the funeral service in its entirety. So you can come back here to WJL at noon, and we will be airing the funeral service and have continued coverage of this throughout the day.